Okay, hello, true viewers. This is Kendra, and we've got Liberty here.
Hey guys.
So we are so excited to be talking about you with something that is probably one of the hardest things that I'm going to say, are learning, like present tense. There has been some learning here, but it's still happening. And with that, we're going to be talking about the B word, boundaries. And we're going to start right at ground zero, like just starting at the very, very basic. There's so much to be said about this topic, but we want to just share with you and help you just get to grips with even what is a healthy boundary, and where could you even start? There's lots of different ways to define it. One of a simple one to borrow from Brene Brown is what works and what doesn't work for you. We're going to take that one step back even to understand what is mine and what is yours, right? Mm-hmm. To really understand where I stop and you start, and what fills that container that makes up me. Because if I don't know what makes up me, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to negotiate relationships that honor and respect that, including me honoring and respecting my own things in my container of me. So that's really ground zero for us, is understanding ourselves. No biggie. The lifelong journey there. But really, we just want to just invite you to think about that for yourself, of what is yours? What do you know about yourself? What feelings can you connect to? And if feelings is a tricky one for you, check out, we've got 4 videos up there, a mini series on that, so you can understand your feelings better. But in addition to feelings, your needs, right? What do I actually need? Basic needs like water, shelter, right? Financial needs, also emotional needs. I need love and connection. I need to be heard. I need my voice in this relationship. And then also spiritual needs, right? And so that's really where we want to encourage you to start, is to really start to just raise your awareness of what makes you up, like your feelings, your needs, your desires for your life, and really start to honor and respect them for yourself, so that you can then carry that out into your relationships. So, Liv, what else do you have to add on that?
Yeah. I want to just add that in order to have your voice and to know to even begin to start the boundary process, you have to have yourself. Like, you have to be in possession of who you are. And that doesn't mean you have to know everything about yourself, because life is a journey and we're constantly learning and growing and changing. But you do have to know some basics in order to move forward. And so being in possession of yourself and your voice is so important. And that's the ground zero part. Like, that's the work before the work. It has to be done. So that's what I hope really encourages people as they're watching this. Like, oh, okay, I can definitely do this. It's not so scary to deal with boundaries when you do it step by step by step.
Yeah.
So that's definitely.
You shared a really cool story with me about just being able to visualize the boundary and understand.
Yeah.
So can you tell more on that to sort of help because I think the imagery of it it's been really powerful for me and for other people that I've used that concept with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm a really visual person. And so it helps me in general, whatever I'm working on, currently healing from or whatever, to have like an idea of the image just to go back to over and over. And so when I first heard about boundaries and kind of started trying to put some in my life, I really imagined them like the Berlin Wall, like thick, impenetrable, guarded. Nobody was getting through that thing. And it was my job to make sure that nobody got through that. And over time, my idea of boundaries has become much more like a movable fence. I live on a farm, and so we literally have movable fences for our sheep in the yard right now. And what happens is, like, a boundary needs to kind of be like breath. It needs to expand and contract. And there are times where the boundary needs to move, right? It's something that was really good for you isn't good anymore. Excuse me. And only when you have that ground zero work done of knowing yourself, then you can go, oh no, but this isn't really working for me now. So now I can move my boundary.
Yep.
I don't have to be rigid. Boundaries are not rigid. They're for life.
Yeah.
They're for, when I say life, I don't mean like you're putting them down for life. I mean, they're to bring more life. They're to bring more of you into life. So rigidity doesn't have a tendency to do that. Rigidity doesn't lead to life, in my opinion.
No.
So, so the visualization of having a movable fence has been very helpful as far as being able to change and grow and move.
Yeah. I love that you bring up the idea that it's movable, and also the point that it's actually it's like to help you come alive and help you live. And the word that's coming to me is relationship. In that I think real relationship honors the boundaries. Like you think, I love the property analogy. Like my property ends here and yours starts there. And we know that. And we wave to each other. We come over to each other's house for a drink or borrow sugar or whatever it is. But it's just, again, defining, I am here within this space. This is my land. This is my space, and yours is over here. But once we know that, we can actually have a really healthy, fun, engaging relationship that's bringing about life for both of us. And like you say, it's not to cut off and defend and block from the world, but it's to create a healthy way to engage.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And I think that one of the things that happens when we don't have healthy boundaries is the corners of us get shaved off. Yeah. So like if using that land analogy, like this is where I start and that line gets blurred, and then we like, who do you call? There's not like an emotional surveyor that can come in and go, oh no, here it is. Like that's the work that we have to do for our recovery.
Yourself. Yeah, totally.
And it's easier when you're in relationship, with yourself and others, to go, I think that my line got blurred over here. How could I put the fence back up? How could I repair what I need?
Totally. So. I think the one last thing to say about that is that the first step is to recover your sense of self. Because if you don't have a strong sense of self, you can't start. That's when the corners get shaved, right? The other thing is that you may have a strong sense of self, but this is what we see happen too. You don't value it. So your self-worth is low. So you know that I stop here, but because you're not valuing yourself and that your needs are valid and that your desires are valid, you can easily let that be shaved off and given to others. And we're going to talk about in one of the videos coming up, people pleasing, apologizing for yourself. It can easily look like that. So we just want to encourage you that one, like know yourself, prioritize that for your life. And two, you are valuable. Sometimes we need to hear it. You are worthy and you are worth it, and your wants and your needs and your desires and your feelings and your hurts and all those things, they are valuable. So Lib, do you want to wrap this up for today?
Sure. Yeah. We had the idea to give y'all just a little bit of homework, because sometimes it's great to watch somebody else's ideas and you walk away and you're like, oh, what do I do with that? So to go back to your own ground zero and to take a step to identify some of your own needs, right? Like what do you need physically to be alive, like really alive? What do you need emotionally to be alive? And try to be as specific as possible. I think that boundaries really come from knowing ourselves and knowing our feelings and our needs and our desires and our hopes and all that. And so when we can be in touch with that, then putting a fence up wherever we need to it's a natural process. It's not this forced endeavor to change everybody, So, that would be how I'd wrap it up. Like, it's a lot easier than you think. Just start here, take this step, identify your needs, whether you put them in your notes section of your phone or you put them on little sticky notes while you're brushing your teeth at night. It doesn't matter. Just start the process. Yeah. And, you'll be surprised, I think, at how much momentum you can gain in a pretty short period of time. So, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So check in with your needs and then check in over the coming weeks for more on this. We're going to be talking about taking that further, identifying different aspects of your needs and desires that you have, and then actually those first steps to actually say yes and say no and draw the line. And the hard part is negotiating the boundaries with other people involved, right? And creating agreements when your yeses and nos don't match with someone else's. But we're going to give you some juicy things there. So, okay, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon.
Okay, bye.